All right. Starting off, deep breath. As above, so below, as within, so without. I only want to hold you in my heart. I only want to hold you in my heart. I want to talk about parts work. And what I mean by that is things like internal family systems. There's like stuff called self-dialoguing. I don't remember the names. I'm sorry. I might put them in the video description, but as I'm getting this channel off the ground, I'm just going to be playing fast and loose until I get into the habit and can refine it from there. But parts work-wise, that subject, a lot of people have some iffy feelings about parts work. They're not sure how effective it is, or they think it's ridiculous. Personally, I find it helpful, probably because I have a pretty, dysregulated system or something. Like I got parts feel very real to me. Because I've been in situations where I'm holding both a part that is screaming it hates to be in that situation, and a part that's like, you better not express this no matter what happens. So when you see that, when you see a part is screaming at you while you're also deathly afraid to say anything, you feel the distinction between two different sides of yourself feels a lot clearer and more real. Becomes very clear. If you don't face that kind of conflict, and honestly, I don't blame anyone. Most people are avoidant, myself included. I'm just lucky enough to have this internal conflict made very present for me. But if you're an avoidant person, you may never get that loud inside. I have my own thoughts on this. There's sort of a metaphorical way that I think about it, which is over time we accumulate these kinds of pains that weigh on our heart, things we care about, basically. And those things never go away. The context in which that thing that we cared about never goes away. We literally ingest it. It becomes a kind of memory, and that memory gets triggered, and we, like muscle memory, we relive the situation, in a different context that brings us back, This happens for good feelings, this happens for bad feelings, but I really think just part works is a kind of performance. And so there's this word called equivocation. When we say equivocation, it's like when you use a word and you're not clarifying that it can be used in two different senses, right? So performance can mean, they put on a performance. Basically, they're acting, which all carries connotations of like making it up. But then there's performance, like how you perform, like what you need to do to get the job done, right? Your performance, and then even worse, you can have a performance, you can have an actor who does a good job and their performance was good. But like you might have an athlete who performs well. They did the thing that they were doing well, right? And really all kinds of performance basically come down to a kind of muscle memory, a familiarity with the context. And I think that's what these parts basically are. They're just they're sets of emotions and muscle memory around a particular context. But I mean, there were still us at one point. We felt that way, and depending on how often that particular we put on that particular performance, how it was demanded of us, that part may be ingrained in us, such that whenever we encounter it again, we, get ready to go and put on our performance. And the context may be completely different, and yet we may not even realize this is happening. So, I think parts work can be a good way of just talking about those kinds of situations, right? Like, you can argue against parts or not parts. I think as long as you believe in categories, you can believe in parts, right? They're just compartments of ourselves, right? If you take time to exist, that is, if you think that time exists, then it would make sense, that we have some way of maintaining ourselves over time. Even if, our current self has accumulated knowledge and experience, that doesn't necessarily mean that we don't have patterns that we have to revisit, because they're just the way that we do things. They're habits and patterns. A thing that happens more than once is a pattern. Excuse me. So I once again, I think parts work is useful for that. I think I've had a lot of it's been really helpful to me to do parts work, in the sense of learning how to get out of my own performances and to recognize when I even am performing, because we think a lot about like authenticity, and often what feels most authentic is really just what feels easiest. And what's going to feel easiest? A bad habit or a good novel way of being, like a way that's better than you did before. The bad habit is going to win out every time. It's going to feel better on some level, even if it doesn't achieve the results you want. A bad habit will win out because it's just what you know. And so in order to change that, you're just going to have to do the uncomfortable thing. But it's going to feel bad. It is. It's going to suck. But sometimes when you do things that suck, you get a better result, and then that incentivizes. It's positive reinforcement, right? So parts work, good thing for fixing old habits, because it sort of evokes the whole system, the context in which those habits came to be. So basically, that's my thoughts for today. Parts work, good. Is not very philosophically in depth or whatever, but it's kind of what's on my heart. All right, deep breath. If If I could see your shadow, if I could see your shadow, if I could see your shadow, what would I see? Have a good night, everyone, or a good day, wherever you are. Take care.